Remember, the legal experts from Benson and Case are in our help center all morning. They want to answer your questions and offer help if you've suffered a life-changing injury. Call them at 303-218-BEST. That's 303-218-2378. If you or someone you know has been hurt, you probably have a lot of questions. Anyone would. Here to answer those questions for you are attorneys Joe Stengel and Kari Jones from Benson and Case. Welcome to the show. I love what we're doing today. We're taking real questions that you get often, and we're just going to ask you those questions today. So let's start with the first one. When should I contact an attorney?
Well, the sooner the better. And you've probably heard the term statute of limitations, SOL. And that's the time bar that triggers from the date of the injury to when you can file. If you don't do something within that time period, you're done. You can't do anything. And any claims that you might have or any rights that you need to enforce, they're gone. So you need to do it fairly quickly.
This is a good one. What if I don't have a bunch of medical bills, but my car was totaled?
That's a common one. What's really important about this is looking at what has happened with your car and then comparing that to your injuries. You can't necessarily do that.
Right.
The reason that, as Joe was saying, the statute of limitations is important is to let you know that you've got time. Don't rush anything. If you've been in a car crash, for example, you may not know how badly injured you are until months down the road.
Right.
So wait and see.
Yeah, okay. This is a good one, and it's back, I think, to the statute of limitations. I was hurt in an accident 4 years ago. Can I still sue someone?
Unfortunately, probably not. Automobile wrecks are 3 years, and premise liability, slip and fall, that's 2 years. And so that's the time when the accident or the injury occurred. And that's when the clock starts to tick. And going back to property damage, insurance companies will always generally pay for your property damage. That means they'll fix your car, repair it, or if it's totaled, they'll pay you for your property damage. But it's the medical, the physical injury that is hard to get them to understand how hurt you are or how damaged you are. And so that's why the time is a little longer on that.
Well, even if you are within the statute of limitations you were mentioning, Kari, people need to go to the doctor right away because you need to collect all that information, correct? You can't do this a year later.
You know, we have had clients that have not treated and then down the road had a shooting pain down their leg, then they just can't figure out what it is. If they had gone to the doctor right away, they would have known that perhaps they had a bulging disc. And so the point is that seek medical treatment, even if you feel okay. I guarantee, especially with an automobile crash, 2 days later you're going to feel it. So go get checked out.
Go do it anyway.
Go do it anyway, exactly.
Okay. All right, here's another question. What should I tell the insurance company if they want to settle the case? Because chances are they're going to want to settle it as soon as possible.
They are, and like we've been pounding on is the statute of limitations. You've got time. They're going to tell you things like, well, we're going to close up your claim. Go ahead. You've got 3 years. Don't let them rush. Having insurance means that there's money out there to compensate you, and don't rush to judgment on this one. Take your time, get the treatment that you need.
Yeah, don't let them bully you. And if
here's an example. A client called, and it was just before Christmas. And the adjuster says, wow, it's almost Christmas time. Don't you think you'd like to have some money to buy Christmas presents?
Interesting.
And they tried to entice him into making a virtually nothing settlement for a few $1,000s to get them to sign off and waive all their rights and claims, with the idea that they might need some money for Christmas presents.
Wow. And that's why they should contact an attorney, right? You guys are going to give them the best advice, and you won't be signing on the dotted line, right?
Because once you sign, it's over.
It's over, definitely. All right, here's another one. If I fell and got hurt on someone else's property, what do I do? Well,
that's a good question. And there are 3 kinds of what you would call types of situations for injury. One is a trespasser, one's a licensee, and one's an invitee. Each one of those has different sets of rules that you can enforce the rights under. So that's why you need to call and speak with an attorney so that you can determine what kind of claims or rights that you have under which of those 3 categories that you might be.
Okay. A loved one went in for routine surgery and now has permanent disability. What can we do? What can they do at this point?
So we get this question a lot, and that type of case typically as a medical malpractice case, but those are not cases that we take lightly. So oftentimes what we do is we say, let's look at what the medical records say, and see if there is a possible claim there. First and foremost, we have to see what happens. So in those situations, a client comes in and we say, let's gather all of the evidence, let's conduct an investigation, and then the good thing is that we tell you, we're honest with you. If you don't have a claim, you don't have a claim, and it's the best advice that you're going to get. We don't want to send you down the wrong road.
All right. Yeah. If people have any questions, they should call the call center today, and we'll leave this last question for our last segment because that's a good one. What if you don't have enough money to pay the attorney? We'll get to that later. All right. So call the experts from Benson and Case right now. They want to answer the questions that you might have and offer some help. Call them at 303-218-BEST. That's 303-218-2378. And when they're not in our help center, you can reach Benson and Case at 303-757-8300, or you can find them online at bensoncase.com. And they are the legal experts on our sister station, Fox 31, so you can also find them by clicking the Ask the Expert tab on kdvr.com.